In this episode, talking about orcs, we're going to be going over the Deff Dreads. And I'm sorry, I still think Deff Dread is a stupid name. I will continue to call them Dreadnoughts until the day I die. Deff Dreads are a walker, of course, basically. Of course, there's no technical walker type in the game, so it's just a vehicle. But the Deff Dread is an interesting unit that's very hard to find a role to fill on the battlefield. They are movement 6 inches, weapon skill 3, ability skill 5, strength 5, toughness 7. Toughness 7, that's pretty good actually. 8 wounds, 2 attacks, and a 3-up save. So they've actually got some decent resiliency to them. But 2 attacks doesn't sound too good, but there's ways to make up for that. So this unit contains 1 Deff Dread. You can take up to 3 in 1 unit. So that kind of gets around the rule of 3. So you could actually run 9 Deff Dreads if you really wanted to. Dreadnoughts. In the 3 heavy, using this data slate 3 times. Let's see. Any model may replace any of its big shooters with a rocket launcher, custom Mega Blast, Scorcher, or Dreadclaw. Okay. So the Dreadclaw is interesting. It's melee, strength times 2, AP minus 3. So it's still only strength 10 though. Strength AP minus 3, 3 damage. So straight up 3 damage is actually quite significant. Each time the bearer fights, it can make 1 additional attack with each Dreadclaw is equipped with. So even though it has only 2 base attacks, with the Dreadclaws it gets 2 more attacks. And if you give it the 4 Dreadclaws, it would have 6 attacks. The Dreadclaws, though, did not get any price drop in Chapter Proofs, unlike Power Claws. So they are just as expensive as they always have been, which is actually more than Power Claws. So getting 4 of these on is actually quite spendy, points-wise. That's why I don't really favor the multiple Dreadclaws. Nor do I like the big shooters or the custom Mega Blaster or the rocket launcher on these things, because they're still hitting on 5s, only a couple shots, without any additional real benefits to them. Scorches, however, are a different story. Scorches are assault, which means you can advance and shoot them. And you can give him 2 Scorches for 2d6 strength 5 AP minus 1 shots. So that gives you a 9-inch on average with the run and 8-inch range. So that's a 17-inch threat range with 2 heavy flamers, and that is pretty significant. Deff Dreads with 2 Scorches are actually quite a threat. It might actually force your opponent to shoot at them. And they're not a whole lot on the point side either. So there's really not much to complain about when you run the Deff Dreads with 2 Scorches. At least in my opinion. I mean, there are some people who use them as shooting platforms. Back in the day, you could replace those Dreadclaws and actually run just like 4 big shooters. And people used to do that. I was never a fan of that. But the one thing for sure, the 3 straight up 3 damage from the Dreadclaws is actually pretty significant, especially if you can buff them up with a Weird Boy, the +1 attack, or War Banner, and you get +1 to hit. So now you've got 4 attacks hitting on 2s, wounding almost everything on 2s, except for vehicles, wounding on 2s or 3s, and with 3 straight up damage. Yeah, so 112 points for a Deff Dread with 2 Scorches. 108 points. 108 points for a Dreadnought with 2 Scorches. I don't think that's a bad deal. The nice thing about the Scorches is that they are assault. As I've said this before many times, and the other things that can take Scorches, because they are assault weapons and not heavy weapons like heavy flamers, they are quite different and have a lot more applications than heavy flamers would. So yeah, Scorches, dual Scorcher Dreadnoughts are pretty good. I probably wouldn't bother taking any other weapons, and even the 4 close combat weapons, yeah, we're talking a lot more points. It's 45 points for 2 more Dreadclaws. So I'm not sure if that's going to be worth it on something that may or might not ever get to hit something. So, do you run Deff Dreads? I've run Deff Dreads before. I really haven't had a problem with them. If they ever do get in close combat near a war banner, they can actually rip. They've done pretty good jobs ripping up characters before with that amazing 3 damage a pop. But getting into that can be a problem. And to be fair, that's the way it's always been with walkers in this game, is that they've always had a trouble lasting long enough to get into combat. Hopefully with the Orks you can have enough jumps and commandos and stuff to distract your opponents so they don't shoot at the Dreadnoughts, but probably not. So Deff Dreads are quite nice. Not great, but quite nice. Very playable. Maybe not competitive level playable, but they're still very playable. Let me know your thoughts below. Thanks for watching.
Thank you for watching this episode of Talking About Orcs. Please subscribe and hit the bell button for notifications for new Talking About Orcs videos every Wednesday, new battle reports every Friday, and hobby videos whenever I can. Thanks for watching.